of numbers then which we're expecting tomorrow. And let's start off with Ultratech Cement, and then in fact we'll go to Anand to ask him his view on the company. First up, in terms of a poll, well, we are expecting a top line growth of close to 11 after around 12% odd. The EBITDA number is likely to take a hit of close to 33%. That would mean that margins will compress big time to around 13.5% odd from more than 22.5%. The profit number as well will come down sharply, should correct by close to around 45%. What are the factors at play? Well, I told you that there's expected a 12% growth on the top line. That's going to be driven by higher volumes. So on a standalone basis, that's the domestic operations. They should deliver volume growth of close to around 7 to around 8%, both for the consolidated entity as well as for the standalone entity. The poll that we threw up was for the consolidated entity. The remainder of the growth on the top line will come in because of higher realizations, close to around 3 to around 4%. The problem is in margins, because realizations on a sequential basis, they have corrected. Ultratech Cement has pan-India presence, so that's one factor that plays out. The second factor is that input costs will continue to remain elevated. Yes, they've corrected from the peak of May. The problem is that they'll be sitting on higher cost inventory, particularly petcoke, and bulk of the power and sales mix, fuel mix will be actually towards petcoke. So that's why that will hurt them as well. Also keep an eye out on the other income, because their cash gradually has been reduced as they're using this cash to expand capacity. So that will be another factor at play. And also we'll keep an eye out on the updated debt number. The management commentary is going to be most crucial. Remember, in the last 1 year, Ultratech Cement has corrected by close to 25%. We have a few of their cement peers that have already disappointed. So expectations are not going to be very high, but if they can deliver a positive surprise, it'll put to rest the problems with regard to another player coming in there, or the larger players trying to get larger as well. Ultratech Cement, well, it's going to be a very, very important set of numbers. Normally comes at midday tomorrow. The street is not having very high expectation, but let's see what they deliver. Anand Tandem is standing by. Hi Anand, good afternoon. Well, we had Shree Cement that delivered disappointing numbers on the weekend, and one thought those are disappointing. Then we had to look at ACCA. Only 20-30 rupees of EBITDA per ton number is what you got. And even Heidelberg Cement didn't deliver a great set of numbers. The good part is everyone's looking at a better second half of the year. How would you approach this space? And if you're getting Ultratech Cement 25% low in comparison to a year ago, will that be your bet?
Well, you are getting into the high season now for cement. We've just had a monsoon which has got over. Of course, it's been extended in some parts of the country, but despite that, this is now the time when construction activity would pick up. So seasonally, it is a good time. And therefore, the next 2 quarters are likely to deliver better results. So if you're looking for better realizations and perhaps to some extent better margins, given the fact that the costs have also been coming down, you would expect that the second half would be better in general. But that said, I think, from a cycle point of view, cement is not that very well placed. We've discussed this already earlier, that you have a new player who's a lot more aggressive, but also because of the fact that Shree Cement has a change at the managing director level, you are likely to see some aggression coming in there as well. So you are going to see a more competitive scenario. The demand may be a little higher, but I don't think that the capex cycle, it shows some signs of sputtering. And if that were to become the more dominant feature, then that would be a problem as well. So from a valuation perspective, I think it still remains a little toppish despite the kind of correction that you mentioned.
That's the call coming in on cement. Anand is not a big